Hey guys, it's Preston Carter from the Journey Podcast. I just wanted to take a minute to clear up the fact that we are not professionals, and what you see here is just conversations with people that are a very positive influence on my life, and I hope you guys can take something away from it that can help you on your day-to-day life journey. But if you need legit help, like if you're fighting depression or how you feel about yourself, there are professionals out there that can help you, and we are not professionals. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and hopefully you guys can take something away from it that will help you with your day-to-day lives.
I try to look to the positive side of everything. Now, of course, there could always be a hard time to be I'm not sure if there is, but there's always a positive to everything, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I just try to find the positive side and look towards that, it'll help not have me focusing so much on the negative side of things.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Journey Podcast, episode number 3. Today, I'm interviewing the very inspirational Caleigh Buwalda. Well, Caleigh has been a very inspirational person to both me and a lot of other people at the school. Very a bright outlook on life. So I'm very happy to be able to interview her and to be able to ask her some questions just to get her thought process on some things. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So your first question is, how do you bring the positivity every day?
I just try to look to something that's in the future that's coming up. So if I have a test or something, I'll study for it, but then I'll think about if I have a volleyball game at the end of the day, I'll think about that and just be if I can push through through a hard test, then I'll be able to not get rewarded, but have something fun at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, do you ever have moments where, because obviously we don't see it, but every human goes through tough times. So has there ever been a moment where you haven't showed us, but you just been going through something that, you use that tactic to just keep going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there has been multiple times where I'm
Yeah. Oh yeah, we all have those moments for sure. Now, you do a lot of sports, and by a lot of sports, if you don't know Caleigh, I mean a lot of sports. She does a lot of clubs. She's very involved, which is awesome. But I want to know, how do you balance sports with being a good student and just balancing the two, because it can be tough. High school life is tough, and being an athlete is tough. So how do you balance multiple things at once?
Say I use a lot of the time in between the end of the school day and when sports start. I use a lot of that time to actually try to focus and study and do homework and get that done. And then of course second lunch and during my free periods, I'll try to get a lot done then too.
So we're doing a senior project, so we have a lot of articles and stuff that we need to be researching. And so I have an article following with a question, but there's according to the article by Shan Chen, called The Development of Growth Mindset Scale, Evidence of Structural Validity Measurement Model, Direct and Indirect Effects in Chinese Samples. It states a student's mindset determines his or her behavior, strategy, and productivity. Adopting the right method makes students growth rapidly. Choose the wrong method hinders students to move forward. What mindset do you strive for every day in order to get the most out of your life?
I try to look to the positive side of everything. Now, of course, there could always be a hard time to be I'm not sure if there is, but there's always a positive to everything, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I feel if I just try to find the positive side and look towards that, it'll help not have me focusing so much on the negative side of things.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's always a positive in some things. And I know when we hang out with you, it's always more of I know for me and my sister, Allie, we always leave feeling more positive and energetic than when I hang out with some other people and they're kind of just negative Nancy's, if you will. They're always kind of, when they're negative, yeah, exactly. It brings you down, so having somebody positive is a really good thing because it actually helps to keep you moving as well. It helps more people than just you, which is awesome. So motivation is another big thing. For me, it's very important because it's how I kept going for a while and, still going. I just want to know, how do you motivate yourself to do your best even while doing so many sports? Because I know you're tired. You say you spend more time here than at home, so.
And this is kind of off topic, but I spend 12 hours, around 10 hours every day at school.
It's like putting in work hours.
I guess I just try to like, I always want to just do my best.
Mhm.
And I kind of find like one thing that I want to do better on each day
Yeah.
and just try to do that every day. And then like if I don't do it, I'm like, okay, maybe let's take a break from that. Let's find something different. And then we can like always come back and find a better, maybe a better way, or just like find a way to like hit that.
Yeah. So what kind of goals do you set for yourself when it's like that? Because being a good athlete and student is hard to balance. So like, what kind of goals do you set?
If it's like a test day, I will be like, well, let's try to get like this grade, or like, let's try for this. Or like if it's like during volleyball or something, I'll be like, well, let's try to get this many serves and let's try to get this many hits. Or depending on what, I mean, like dance, I'll be like, let's try to keep my toes pointed. Or
Yeah.
softball, let's try to field this many balls and not miss. Or this depends on the day, really.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. And what have your coaches helped you with, like motivation and the mindset that you need to have to keep going? Like, I know coaches are supposed to do that, but like, what have you learned from them?
I've learned from most of my coaches that just because you have one bad day does not mean you're bad at the sport. That it means like you're just having an off day and it's okay. Just keep going and like find maybe something that you're a little bit better at and try to do that, because then it'll bring your positivity back and then you can redo what you might not have been so good at before then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that makes sense, to focus on one thing. Okay, so this next article, and I need to start knowing these names more before I come on here, but I'm going to try my best.
Okay.
So Kayosuke Kakanuma states in the article, praise affects the praiser, effects of ability focus versus effort focus, praise on motivation. And it states people who endorse the growth mindset tend to have mastery-directed responses to setbacks. Therefore, enjoyment and performance on a subsequent task are high. Setbacks happen, but how successful humans are is based on how you come back from those setbacks. You can't escape them, but you can figure out ways to accept them, if you will, in order to keep going. So how do you accept setbacks and take it and just kind of like step back maybe and like be like, okay, what can I work on to move on instead of letting it bring you down?
One way that I'd say is just like, honestly, I would just like pull out a Bible verse and be like, okay,
Yeah.
let's see like what this says. And then I'll kind of like take that and then think of ways that I could like show that.
Mm-hmm.
And then by me showing other people like that Bible verse, it helped me kind of say like, okay, I can do this. Like, let's try to maybe go this way.
Yeah.
Instead of the way that I went.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's cool. What is your definition of a positive growth mindset? I know that's a tough question.
I would say, like, there will be negative things in the world, but you just have to not really necessarily ignore them, but find like the positive side of things, or like how like it will be positive at some point.
Yeah.
And you just have to try to strive for that rather than sitting and like keeping the negative thing in.
Okay, so you're kind of saying like looking for positives in the midst of negative?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we all have storms, but I heard someone say it was on the Motiversity YouTube channel. They have a lot of these motivational like videos, and a dude on there, I can't remember his name, but he was like, someone told him struggle sucks, and he's like, well, it depends on how you frame it. And I was like, absolutely, like that's what I strive for, is to, everybody has different levels of stuff that they're going through, but depending on how you frame it and how you look at it, you can, specific things. Some things is really hard to keep going, but just keeping your head up and keeping going, looking for the positives is how you can get through it. So what advice would you give to people listening about how they can stay motivated?
I would definitely find like a group of like close friends and just like talk like through your hard times with them, because I feel like that's a lot of time. Like if you talk to somebody, then they might have like, since it's not happening to them, they might be able to give like you some like inspiration that maybe you wouldn't really be able to find, since like you're going through it.
Yeah.
Then you might be able to find like that positivity out of what they say.
Yeah.
I would say just like find a group and then pray about it.
What would you say to those people who are in the wrong group right now?
I would say try your hardest to find positive people.
Yeah.
Or maybe like try to like be social, because by being social, you'll be able to find more people. And so if you don't like the group that you're in, you can kind of like branch out, and then you might be able to find people that you have more like things in common with.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're a lot more social than a lot of people, especially like me in 8th grade, but there are some people who don't like to talk to people. So I know it could be more tough for them. But yeah, just it can be scary to drop people that are not influential to you and not think like you, but it's very crucial for me, you know?
Yeah, that's like how I was when I came here. Like I knew absolutely nobody. And I like knew a few people from volleyball, but they had like their friend groups. And so it was kind of hard for me to be part of them. So like I just had to start like doing my own thing, and then I've like eventually just started finding people that were like me, and then
Yeah,
just all worked together.
that's awesome. And apparently there's a lot of people like you because you have a lot of friends. You'll wave at people and be like, "Who is that?" And you're like, "I didn't." Yeah, we met once and we're like best friends. That's a good way to look at things. So it's a really tough question because people are like, so you obviously perfection is not possible within human beings because, you can't be perfect. We were not created perfect. Pretending like we are perfect you shouldn't do that because you're not. But there's always a goal that people have, like who I see where I want to be and who God wants me to be. I may never reach it, but that's my goal to get there. So what's your goal? Like, what does your best self look like to you?
I would say just pursuing what I enjoy, and like making sure that I'm representing God in a way that He would want us to like represent Him.
Yeah.
Like living a life God would want us to live, and just like showing others God.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, I said this last week, but if those of you who are listening, if you are not Jesus followers, that's completely fine. Us who are, it's changed our lives. And again, I would love to see you at church at Impact on Wednesdays at 7. It might not change your life, but if it does, that'd be awesome. It definitely did for us. Or well, Caleigh goes to a different church, but it's the same impact. You see the same positive light from her as you do from everybody else I know. So. All right, so this is kind of hypothetical, but it doesn't have to be. I don't know why it's just 7-year-old self. I've been saying that for the past couple weeks, but any younger version of you, what would you say to her if she were to appear one time in your life? And I know this changes, but like up until this point, what you've experienced, your highs and lows of life, what advice would you give them? Like 3 pieces of advice that you would give her before you never saw her again.
I would say always stay positive in the negative times. Like you will eventually hit a positive time, and just to keep going and not to give.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say to those people who, because I believe what you're saying, but there's some people who are in really dark places right now that don't see a light. They hear a lot of people say will be a positive place at some point, but it's hard for them to believe that. So what would you tell them?
I would tell them to keep pushing through. Even though it can be hard, you just have to keep pushing, and just like I said earlier, like find a group of people that you feel comfortable talking about it, because if you can talk about it with others, it might be a possibility where they can help you find a positive side to your dark time, even though you can't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even when I first came here in 8th grade, I really didn't know anybody, and I was also in a darker place than I am now. So I definitely I love what you said about that, because the people that I am around right now really do help me. They can help me when you can't, you don't seem like you can get through, and God as well. But before I end this, I kind of want to know if there's anything else that you want, like you were coming in here and you want to talk about, motivate people with, help them with their mindsets with. Like, is there anything that my questions didn't cover that you would like to talk about?
I guess just kind of like the closing statement. Just like find that group that you can either pray with or just talk through your hard times. Because I feel like that's what helps me most when, like, if I'm feeling like down or something, just finding that group of people and talking or praying about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Well, before we go, I wanted to acknowledge you for a minute because you, more than you know, have helped me, and Allie has stated in many moments of life, like, you've helped us be able to be like, okay, no matter who I am, I'm going to be like confident and positive. You bring definitely a positive light into school. You are very confident, and it's awesome to see. Whether you feel that way or not, that's what everybody else sees, and it's cool. Just in certain situations, have seen you like not back down on who you are, and kept me in check in a lot of ways. Because I'm like, yeah, you don't got to worry about that, and it's like you've told me that before, so it's awesome. And I also want to know, how can I help you? Because we're all a family. We got to help each other through this. So I want to know how I can help you in getting through your walks of life and being a positive influence on you.
I would say just like, I guess just like the positivity, like, cause the overall, like, I feel like just like when I hear somebody like a random like positive fact or like motivational quote or something just randomly throughout the day, I'll be like, oh, like, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Like, you do that a lot, which I'm like, oh, I haven't thought about it from like that view. And Allie does it too. And I was like, oh, I like that. It's just like random. And I was like, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's like, overall, I feel like you're like, it's a hard question. Cause like, I feel like overall you're very positive too. And it's like, I don't know how, like, I don't know. That's a hard question.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I try to be a positive influence. It annoys some people. You can tell, be like, stop. Like, and they think that it's because, and I have a happy life. I'm very thankful for my life. But I mean, I go through hard times too. I appreciate that. And vice versa. And I don't know. Like, Allie's my sister, by the way. For those who don't know, I know we mentioned her name a lot. But just the confidence level that she's brought and that I brought based on how you've kind of shown us to be that way is incredible. So I appreciate that. And thank you for coming on, by the way. That was awesome.
I'm glad I was able.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, thank you guys for listening, and I'm going to bring you your weekly quote. Your weekly quote is, being challenged in life is inevitable, being defeated is optional, and that's by Roger Crawford. Thank you guys for listening. Just remember to be yourself and to chase your dreams. I'll see you guys next time.